Today, I'm joined by Angelique Soto, founder of Credit Snitch. She's helped convert over $100 million worth of so-called unqualified home buyers into real homeowners by teaching credit as behavior, structure, and identity. All right, now before we talk systems or strategies, I want to start here. You've worked with thousands of people who were labeled unqualified. Now, what do most people misunderstand about credit when they're trying to build a better future for themselves?
They're missing maybe 4 of the 5 principles. They think maybe it's just about payments, paying on time, or they think it's barely using their credit cards. There's definitely a system behind it.
At what point did it enter your mind that, oh, wait a minute, I can help other people and I can also create income and generate revenue by helping other people with the same thing I helped myself through?
Yeah,
Like,
full
this is planned
transparency.
from the beginning, or was that like, no, I'm in survival mode. I need to get out of this thing. And then
It was
somewhere along the way
survival
it
mode.
happened.
I was just trying to get my head up from under the water and help my daughter create some type of stability because I felt like a failure as a mom. There was shame. There was mommy guilt. I was self-centered at the time, and I was only thinking about my survival and my daughter. So when all of that happened and I was able to sit down for a moment and connect with myself, I heard God tell me, you know, what you did is beyond what you're understanding. You need to serve others. And then my family started watching me on social media and Instagram and friends, and they saw me doing Airbnb and living a very different life. I was going through my healing while I was transforming my credit. So you could see me glowing and finding
Yeah.
myself. It was
Yeah.
tremendous.
Was it hard for some people to come along that journey with you when they
Oh,
recognize
yeah.
you acting different, you talking
Oh,
different,
oh,
you're
yeah.
not the same, and you're like, no, I'm not the same.
I lost, like, family members changed on me that I never thought would have. People would only call me when they needed stuff, never just to see if I was okay. Somehow thought that I thought I was better than them. Like, it was rough. It was rough. And I said to myself, well, if that's the way people are going to think, I'm going to give them grace because they don't understand my journey.
Yeah.
Right. And they can pass all the judgment they want. That's obviously a reflection of them. So I'm going to give them
Yeah.
grace. I'm going to live in my glory of surviving and
Yeah.
then understanding what God is telling me because I swore up and down Airbnb was the come up. I was sending away the idea of credit ever being empire for me. I didn't want the responsibility, I feel. It was a burden, survival alone is a burden.
Yeah.
So for me, I didn't want it and I kept pushing it away. I kept treating credit like it was the stepchild. And I kept saying, I don't want that position. I was like, Airbnb is going to bang for me. I'm going to live this life. And no, the minute I started thinking that way, the shift happened where my cousin referred me to a lender at a company and he gave me 2 clients. I turned them around in 30 to 60 days and he shot out an email to everyone at guarantee rate. And then I had all this business. And I was like, God, what are you doing? I don't even want this position. I felt such a pressure. And I felt like I wasn't worthy. Like, okay, I fixed my credit. How
Yeah.
could I
Yeah. Yeah.
ever think the audacity of me to
Imposter
think?
syndrome starts to set in, and you're like, who am I to be helping somebody else out? I just helped
Yes.
me out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I got very overwhelmed. I was like, I just want to live a simple life where I'm taking care of me and my daughter. And I just kept feeling that voice and that pressure to step up and be something more than I wanted to be.
So what's usually the first behavior that has to change before a credit score ever does?
The client has to be willing to participate. I make them sign an agreement saying that they're not going to self-sabotage, get in my way if they're having any ideas, any negative thoughts, any impulses, anything regarding credit. I need them to have a conversation with me. I need them to immediately book my calendar, which is with Calendly. They can do it at 2, 3 in the morning if they're mentally, just experiencing whatever thoughts. They book, I show up, we have that conversation. And I let them know old habits die hard. It's
Yeah.
our responsibility to be supportive of one another and figure out how can we get past this obstacle, and budgets, right? Whenever a client starts with me, the first conversation we have during onboarding is, do you have a budget at home? No, I don't have a budget. Okay, this is where we need to start because it's the foundation of being successful. If you do not have a healthy budget where you see what's coming in and what's going out, how can you manage a late payment? One late
Yeah.
payment will sink a credit score up to 120 points. We have to set them up for success. This isn't just about fixing and disputing. And no, it's about the whole holistic package of the human being who is involved in this process and journey.
And you're
And that's
teaching
how
the
people go.
mindset, you're teaching the behavior, because even after they get the house, you want them to be able to maintain this great credit, right?
Yeah. Transformation. This is financial transformation and brainwashing about finances at its finest. And it takes time. It's not like they leave us in 6 months and they got it all together. No, but habits started in the beginning. And if you ever read Habits of Highly Effective People, which I have my clients read, you break habits in a certain amount of time and you build habits in a certain amount of time. And we keep
Yeah.
them on track. And I love that. I automate anything I can because I am a creature of habit and anyone can become that if you put it in
Yeah.
place.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, a big part of your work is partnering with real estate agents and lenders, right?
Correct. Correct.
Walk me through how Credit Snitch integrates into their process. Like, what changes when credit education becomes part of the pipeline instead of an afterthought?
Absolutely. So we are the home buying success team. And the way we approach clients, well, our realtors, we say, hey, we really want you to be on top of the approval process with your clients. The minute they get that decline, they were not approved, we need to go into resolution mode immediately. Immediately, because that's the moment when they make the decision if they're going to rent for another year or they're going to go with some rinky-dink credit company who's just going to bleed them dry every month and not
That's
give
right.
them results, right? So we have
And we all
to
know a few names that we won't say.
then we have to have that conversation with them before they go into pre-approval. Hey, in case we're not where we want to be with our credit, we have a home buying success team. Credit Snitch is really great at qualifying and strategically getting you to where you need to go. So don't worry, we have that in place. But if everything goes great, we're good. We'll move forward, right? So they're already planted the seed. So the moment they don't get that pre-approval, oh, okay, great. So now we're going to go. I'm going to introduce you to Angelique Soto. They introduce me on email. I pick up the email. But now this is where the client has to go and book the appointment on their own. The client has to be willing to be a part of the journey. We don't want to pressure them, but we want them to see the results, right? And on the email, there are links to my graduation videos. It shows them. It shows my website. It helps them warm up to the idea of potentially
They get to see the
talking.
receipts.
Exactly.
Well, I want to shift gears slightly. We ask everybody this because small shifts tend to create the biggest leverage over time. And so, looking back at the people that you've helped most, what's one small change that consistently creates outsized results in someone's financial trajectory?
Giving yourself permission to be unfinished. You know, that habit of saying, okay, I can change whatever it is that's going on and take the step to making the change, the commitment to the change. So if someone doesn't know how to manage their money, the first commitment would be to creating a budget and sticking to it and creating that habit. Then goes into, okay, I want to shift my credit. So now that I fixed my budget, I want to now make a commitment to myself moving forward that I will never have a late payment again on my credit report, because late payments is the biggest issue on a credit report. It'll sink your score up to 120 points if you have one late payment. And there's no second chances. It's a one and done. And that's what people don't understand. So, okay, I'm going to commit to my budget. I'm going to commit to no late payments. I'm going to commit to not overspending. And I'm going to commit to managing my budget so I spend within my budget and I never ruin my credit score because I'm living within my means. Right?
Yeah.
Keeping up with the Joneses is not where it's at, honey. The Gucci,
ain't
Louis,
it.
Prada, no, because you're not at the level of wealth. Allow people to receive you in your authenticity, not in what you have outwardly. And I learned that. I had to learn that the hard way because so many people around me were wearing the Louis, the Gucci, the Prada. And I had to realize what's most important is they're making the money. I'm not. I need to care about
That's it. I was going to say,
myself.
you can get to a level to where that is your thing and it doesn't hurt, right? It's all good.
Start somewhere with yourself before you want to live this lavish life. Build your garden of life. And that includes your budget. That includes loving yourself deeply to commit to taking the steps to build a budget, and it's a step at a time. This does not happen overnight, and we need to be okay with giving ourselves permission to be unfinished. And God
Yeah.
will work from there and help us work from there.